Hey there, BookTube. Noah, how's it going? Everyone who reads it must converses the channel. I thought I'd do a little bit of a different type of video on my channel. This is going to be kind of projected reading. There's some read-alongs coming up I wanted to talk about and give you a taste of what's coming up on the channel and open it up for people to join along if they want. This is for everybody. Commenters, watchers, creators, whatever. And you will find my Instagram handle and my Voxer handle in the description box. That's where we'll do discussions, as we're reading through some of these. And I will be putting content out on pretty much all this stuff. We'll see. The only time I don't really put content out is if I don't like it. If I don't really connect with it at all and I just kind of move on. So let's get to it. This is going to be like, November, December, this kind of thing. I was so blown away by Alan Moore's Jerusalem that I'm going to reread V for Vendetta. I have this, paperback edition that I've had for a long time. It's been a really long time since I read it. So it's about time to reread it. I read graphic novels very, very quickly. So it's just not a big deal. I'll read it just while I'm reading other stuff. Another graphic novel that I just recently came across in the clearance section at a comic book shop is called The Hypothetical Lizard by Alan Moore. This is based off a short story by Alan Moore. The last, we got like 100... Maybe the last 40 pages of this thing is his short story that he wrote with some sketches for the graphic novel in with it. But the graphic novel is 4 comics long that goes through his short story, The Hypothetical Lizard. So I'm going to check it out. It seems really, really weird and very interesting. So Alan Moore to a T, right? And this is going to be a quick read as well. I might just read it in one day. Read the graphic novel in one day, read the short story in one day. I don't know if I'm going to read the short story first. Probably will. Probably just go for the short story first because that's how it was done. He wrote the short story and then they got together. And by they, I mean Alan Moore and Anthony Johnson. Anthony Johnson is the artist. They got together and did the graphic novel on it. So we'll see how it goes. The next book that's up for my reading is something that I'm doing just a buddy read with another individual. This is Tom L.A. Books. And we'll just be talking about it while we go through it. I'm going to read this one very, very quickly. As quick as I can. We'll see how it goes. I let the text dictate really how I read, and that is David Foster Wallace's The Broom of the System. I've never read it. This was David Foster Wallace's thesis, I believe, in university, and was worked to his first novel. And people love this book. People love this book that have read it, so I can't wait to read it myself. And I need to get David Foster Wallace's novels. I've read a lot of his essays, journalism, and a lot of his short stories, and I love all of it. All of it. David Foster Wallace was an amazing, brilliant mind, and I can't wait to see what he does with the long form like that. In November, this is a read-along event called New Worlds November, put together by Becky and Scott Bryant over there at the Bookish Bryants. I'll link their announcement video in the description box. But there is a whole host of creators that are kind of taking part in this. Of course, I'm out of the box and going to do it my own way. But New Worlds November is basically just a science fiction focused reading event for November. So I'm going to buddy read this book with Scott Danielewski, who is a former creator, and his channel might still be up and you can find his content. He does a lot of podcast style content. But we're going to be reading The Demolished Man by Alfred Bester. I've never read it before. People love this book too. Very highly lauded. And I got this awesome, Easton Press edition with illustrations and an introduction by Kurt Vonnegut. I can't wait to see what this is about. It sounds great. As far as people lauding it, but I don't go for spoilers. I've made sure not to kind of get even a synopsis of what it's about, but I can't wait to read it. And that will be happening in November, probably the last couple of weeks. After I finish Broom of the System, I'm going to pick this one up. And that's just how it's going to be. Yeah, New Worlds November is cool. After Broom of the System, when I start Demolished Man, I'm actually also going to start Infinite Jest. This is a book that is on the big book takeover. This is how I'm finishing up, going to finish up the year. This is going to take a bit to read time-wise and effort-wise, so I'm giving it till the end of the year. Read Broom of the System, and then immediately start on Infinite Jest, and then see how long it takes me, right? I'm not a stickler for a time frame or anything like that. If I finish it before the end of the year, perfect. If it goes a little over the end of the year 2021, fine by me. I'm going to finish it for sure. I can't wait. If you're interested, I would like to do this. I've put it out there before and had a lot of good response as far as people wanting to read it. So this is the official kind of announcement for that. Go ahead and hit me a comment in the comment section, or just hit me on my Voxer or my Instagram that is linked into the description box, and I'll get you in the group, because we're going, keep each other motivated, right? Let's talk about it while we're doing that, and keep each other motivated. And if you want to read it, then I want to facilitate that so that people stay with it, and it not be something where, well, yeah, I read a little bit of it and DNF'd it. So since Infinite Jest, once I'm done with The Demolished Man, which might be a pretty quick read, and then in December, I'm just going to do Infinite Jest, and then Cena has started a read-along of one of my favorite books, and I've revisited this book over and over and over the years. It is House of Leaves by Mark Danielewski. This book is experimental fiction. There is many, many layers of narrative to this book. It's like nested within each other. You have your a literary criticism injected into the text as well. The format of this thing is completely indescribable. You don't know what, if you just thumb through it, you don't know what's going on. There's type in different formats. There's different colors, red and blues. There's redacted text. There is actually a lot of white space sometimes, where you don't know. When you're just thumbing through it, you're like, I don't know what's going on. There's different fonts. Maybe I said that already. But when you are reading this thing, I'm telling you, when you're reading it, you can follow those kind of things. When you're just thumbing through it, it seems so strange. Like, how is it that I would ever read that? How do you read that? Well, you can't know until you're in the text. When you're in it, and going page by page, then you can see what is being done and how it's being done, how you should read it if you want to go down one stream, a rabbit hole, or another, right? And there's definitely more than a few. And you see text is even sideways on pages and things like that. It is a very, very interesting book. It's scary. This is like a literary horror, But mostly what it is experimental fiction. This is, there's nothing else like House of Leaves. Definitely worth checking out. So, get in touch with me, sure. I'm gonna co-host it with Cena. I can't wait to visit it again. Maybe we'll do some live, maybe discussions and things like that on it, because I've talked through the book with readers many times, and it's always an enjoyable experience. If you're interested, either get in touch with her. I'll link her channel, Beating Around the Books, in the description box, or me by the same avenues that I mentioned earlier, and we'll get you in the group, because the more the merrier. It is a very fun experience, if not scary as well. So be ready for some real disturbing type of reading. It's not gory. It's not horror in the way of something that, like a slasher or anything like that. It's a psychological horror. It is a creepy, weird. It's a weird horror, like that kind of thing. Not at all, blood and guts, things like that. So, let me know. All good. And then the other things that I'm gonna try to kind of fit in if I have time. Maybe not, right? I mean, I got enough with just Infinite Jest and House of Leaves sitting there, right? But I've been reading these big books all year, and I do feel confident that, I'll get it done, and I'll get them done with the same amount of effort that I put into my reading anyways. So I would love to fit in, if I can, by the end of the year, Wittgenstein's Mistress by David Markson. This comes very highly recommended by so many people. So many people tell me it's my favorite book. Well, it's my favorite book that I've ever read, kind of stuff. And I'm like, really, right now? Then I have to read it. I have to read. I love when people really suggest to me their favorite work of all time, because no matter what, it's worthy reading, right? Markson is talked about and is on Mark Nash's channel quite a bit. Travis over at Myers Mega Fictional Musings just read this and gave a review, explorative kind of review on it, that I listened to all of it and thought it sounded really cool. So I do know a little bit of the premise of this thing, but there is a mystery. There is a mystery. There is unknowns to this book. So we'll see what it's about, and maybe put some content out on it for sure. Hopefully I get there, right? Hopefully I get to it, because I do think that it'll be fun and worth it to read that. And then anything else, if there's any other time, I doubt it, but I just have this, staring me in the face, and I definitely want to read it. I want to read The Rings of Saturn by Sebald, W.G. Sebald. German writer, and Celia over at the channel of the same name, Celia, has fallen in love with Sebald, and I can't wait to experience it myself. I've heard a lot about the atmospheric, dreamlike quality of Sebald, and for a kind of counter opinion, Kathy over at the Grim Reader was also reading Sebald and did not like it. Couldn't really relate to what he's doing. Didn't think it was all that. Didn't really think it was worthy as far as literary going for something new, or going for something kind of lacking substance, is what I kind of gathered from her thoughts. And so, completely valid. I mean, different strokes for different folks, but I have no experience with W.G. Sebald. So this will be my first, and I'll let you know if I get to it and what my thoughts are on it. So there's the projected to the end of the year. A couple of read-alongs, a couple of buddy reads, and a read-along of Infinite Jest that I will be personally just putting together myself. So I'm the only contact for that one if you want to get in on an Infinite Jest reading. Looks good, huh? Thank you, BookTube. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.